What's up, YouTube? Emma here. Thanks for joining me for yet another yoga class. It is holiday season here in the US. We are getting ready to celebrate Christmas. It's the end of November, so I've got some fun Christmas colored lights and some florals up here, so nice and festive. Let's go ahead and get started today. Let's say in a child's pose. Come to child's pose near the back of your mat. Bring your knees wide and your forehead down. Take a few moments, maybe move your armpits, move your forehead, settle in. Notice if there's anywhere in your body where things feel stuck. Your breath can feel stuck or muscles feel tight or tense. And as if you could, imagine drawing your next inhale into that muscle, into that space specifically. Feel it fill up with that nourishing, revitalizing breath. And then as you exhale, releasing some of that tension, stress starts to melt away. You feel a little bit more space, a little bit more ease in that part of your body. Do that again. Deep breath in. Open mouth, sigh. One more. All right, go ahead and walk your hands over to the right. Breathe in and out through your nose now. You can keep those deep breaths, but keep your lips sealed, like you're trapping that exhale inside. Walk your hands over to the left. So you should be able to hear your breath, kind of like an ocean wave. You can almost feel the texture of your breath at the back of your throat, kind of like the top of your mouth. Walk your hands back through center. Slide all the way forward onto your belly. Stack your shoulders over your elbows, forearms down, Sphinx pose. Lift your kneecaps, firm your thighs. Pull your chest forward and plug the heads of your shoulders back. Tone your belly. Pull your chin towards your throat. So you're not tucking your chin and looking down. You're kind of pulling your chin back. Bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Drop your chin towards your chest. Bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Bring your chin to your chest. Lower your forehead down and push your elbows out. So your arms are goalpost or cactus arms. Lift your upper body, so chest and arms lift. Make two fists with your hands. Imagine you have a pencil between your shoulder blades. Walk your feet together so the big toes touch and the heels maybe touch. And then lift your legs up. Try to get your thighs more off the mat and keep hugging those heels together. Press your pubic bone down, lift your thighs more, chest more. 3, 2. Keep your feet lifted, push your hands into the mat and roll up cobra pose. Might feel nice to look right and left a few times. Sway your hips side to side. Take it back, child's pose, but just keep your knees where they are. Come forward to tabletop for a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale, round. Exaggerate, lengthen the breath. Exaggerate the movements. Can you lift your tailbone more? Pull your chest forward more. And then can you round your back more? Create more space between your hands and your chest. 2 more. As you round, you're really pushing your palms through the mat. Lengthen your arms. Last one. Come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up, downward facing dog. You might like to adjust your hands or your feet a tad. Your feet should be about the width of your hips, hands a little wider than shoulders. You can always put blocks under your hands if this hurts your wrists. Make sure your fingers aren't turning in towards each other. The pointer fingers point forward, so the wrist crease is parallel with the front of the mat. You can always keep a little bend in your knees. Focus more on your hips lifting. Feel free to move around a little bit here. Sometimes it feels nice to just sway your hips side to side. You could drop your heels right and left or pedal out your legs. Take a few moments to explore with your breath. Explore what feels good. Lift your heels up, tone your belly, pull your bottom ribs in and your belly button back. Take baby steps all the way up to the front of your mat. Eventually, the feet will be really wide at the front. Grab your elbows or anything else you like to do with your arms. This is clearly one of my favorites. There's not much that feels better, especially in the beginning of practice. You're releasing a lot of tension on your spine. You hold your neck up pretty much all day. This is a great opportunity to let it go, let your head be heavy. You can always bend the knees more to make it less intense. You can move side to side. Try to use your breath to explore those places of your body that feel a little bit tense or stuck. Instead of just shying away from them or ignoring them. Switch out your arms. Shake your head no, and yes. Release your hands to the mat. Wiggle your feet in so they're about the width of your hips. Lift up halfway, inhale. Fold forward, grab your ankles. Rise all the way up to stand. Reach both arms up. When you get there, interlace your hands, release your index finger, and cross your thumbs. Squeeze your palms together, your biceps to your ears. Imagine zipping up your body. Inhale. Exhale, lean over to your right. Notice if you're arching your back. See if you can scoop your tailbone a little bit and pull your bottom ribs down. Squeeze your legs, your quadriceps, and then get lighter in your toes. Can you lean a little bit more to your right? Come back up through center and lean to your left. Pull your belly button back. Come back up to center. Cactus bend your arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Push your hips forward without gripping your toes to the mat. Reach your arms up as you do that. Pull your ribs down and then fold forward, hands on the mat. Lift up halfway. Plant your hands. Step back with your right foot, then your left foot. On this first one, drop your knees, bend your elbows back, modified chaturanga. Lower your chest and chin to the mat. Push your pubic bone down, pull your chest forward, cobra pose. Roll your inner thighs towards the mat, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Hide your heels behind your ankles. They're bumped out slightly. Feel your thigh bones push back as your hands push forward. Think about lengthening the sides of your waist like someone is grabbing your hip crease, your outer hips, and kind of pushing them up towards the sky. Lift your heels, look forward, step with your right foot, then your left foot to the front. Your feet can touch or hip width. Lift up halfway, fold forward. Inhale, rise, reach your arms all the way up. Interlace your hands, opposite grip, and lean to your right. Roll some weight to the inner edges of your feet. Back up center and lean to your left. Back up center, cactus bend your arms and lean back. Reach up and fold forward. Ardha, halfway lift. Hands down, step back with your left foot, then your right foot to the bottom of your exhale, chaturanga. Push your toes back. Pull yourself forward onto the tops of your feet, upward facing dog. Tone your belly, roll over your toes, downward facing dog. You can always take the modified version of chaturanga whenever I cue regular chaturanga, or skip it entirely. Take a cat-cow instead, take a push-up instead. What's beautiful about the practice of yoga is it's so customizable, so you can do the same class every day and really find a lot of different modifications, different things that feel good. Try not to force the poses. Try to meet the discomfort with a bit of curiosity. Lift your heels, look forward. Step left foot, right foot to the front. Lift up halfway, fold forward. Rise, reach, look up. Interlace hands opposite and lean to the right. One breath. Center, left, center, back bend, reach up, fold forward. Half lift, hands down, step or jump back. If you're stepping back, just alternate which foot leads. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Pause yourself in down dog, squeeze your legs. You should feel like your quadriceps are kind of hugging onto your thigh bones here. Pull your bottom ribs in so you feel your belly. Your biceps are kind of right next to your ears, so feel a little pull of your sternum forward. You kind of engage the sides of your waist a little bit more that way. One more time. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front. Lift up halfway, fold forward. Inhale, rise, reach up. Interlace your hands, opposite grip. Last time, lean to your right. Squeeze palms back center, to the left. Center, cactus bend. Reach up, fold forward. Halfway lift. Hands down, step back, left foot, right foot, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Your left leg stays strong and sturdy. The heel is in one spot, so the heel's not spinning in or out. Bend your right knee, stack your hips, and then take 3 big circles with that right hip. Left leg strong, sturdy, not moving around too much. Take an inhale, square your hips. Exhale, crunch your right knee to your left elbow. Try to make contact. Send your right leg up behind you. Crunch your right knee to your right elbow or tricep. Inhale, right leg lift. Exhale, right knee to nose. Step forward, spend 5 breaths in runner's lunge. You can just stay still and kind of sink into the pose, or you can bend and straighten your legs. Long, even, intentional breath. Back knee down, send both arms up. Anjaneyasana, right heel driving down and pulling back slightly. Take your left arm under your right arm or forearms together for modified eagle arms. Lift up first and then lean back. Feel your right heel driving down and pulling back, your left shin pushing through the mat. Try to avoid dumping into the low back. Pull your belly button back. 3, 2. Keep the arms if possible, half splits. Otherwise, release and put your hands on the mat. Feel a little twist to the right as you try to pull your right hip point back and down. And you're kind of driving your fingers over that right foot for 3, 2, and 1. Release your eagle arms, bend your right knee, plant your left hand, find runner's lunge twist. Reach your right arm to the sky. Your right hip crease down and back, pump up your left leg. Feel the back of your knee lift. Look up at your right hand and maybe half wrap. As you push down into your left hand, you turn your chest more to the right and almost lean a little to the left for 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, step your left foot to meet your right foot, fold. Halfway lift, fold forward. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, reach your arms. Spiral your pinkies in a little bit, take a breath in. Exhale, sweep your right arm back, twist. Feel your left hip pull back as you reach your left pinky finger forward. Now, as you come through center, reach your arms up, pull your right knee to your chest, inhale. Exhale, right foot down, twist to the right. Inhale, stand, right knee lift. Exhale, feet down, twist right. One more time, right knee lift, inhale, arms up. Right foot down, twist to the right. Keep your knees bent, reach both arms up, chair pose. Fold forward. Lift up halfway. Plant your hands, step or jump back, chaturanga. Keep your right leg strong and sturdy, send your left leg to the sky. Bend your knees, stack your hips, make sure your right heel's not moving around as you take 3 big circles with your left hip. Left leg to the sky, crunch your left knee to your right elbow. Left leg up, left knee, left elbow or tricep. Left leg up. Softly step left foot forward. 5 breaths in runner's lunge. Right knee on the mat, Anjaneyasana. Feel your inner thighs pull towards each other. Push your right toenails and shin through the mat. Eagle wrap your right arm under or forearms together. Lift up first, tone your belly, and then lean back. Keep feeling your belly button pull back, your left heel dragging back. Gaze up, 3, 2. Keep the arms half splits. Left femur bone, left hip pulling back, little twist to the left. Sink your left hip if possible. Try to push your right hip slightly forward. 3, 2, 1. Release your arms. Let's go ahead and bend into the left knee. Right hand on the mat, runner's lunge twist. Pump up your right leg. Push down into your right hand. And then maybe half wrap that left arm. Try not to let the left knee fall out. Keep hugging it in. Lean a little bit to the right. Open your chest. 3. Keep pushing your right thigh up. 2. And 1. Left hand down. Step your right foot to meet your left foot. Lift up halfway. Fold forward. Utkatasana. Reach your arms up. Twist to your left. Can you pull your right hip crease back as you reach forward with the right hand? Inhale your arms up, stand with the left knee to chest. Put your left foot down and twist to the left in chair pose. Again, come to stand, arms up, left knee lift. Left foot down, twist left. Last time, stand, left knee lift. Left foot down, chair twist. Reach your arms up, inhale. Forward fold. Lift up halfway. Plant your hands, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and sigh. Lift your right leg up, inhale. Step towards your right thumb. Rise up to a high lunge crescent warrior, maybe starting with a little bend in your left knee. Feel your left hip point, lift. Then maybe straighten your left leg, push your heel back. Great. Take a breath in. Hinge forward, sweep your arms back. Turn the palms down. Make sure your right rib cage is away from your thigh. Stretch your arms wide and reach them forward like you have a block in between your hands. Plug the shoulders back. Take a breath in. Sweep just your right arm back. Feel your right hip crease pull back. Power up that left leg more. Straighten your legs and turn to the left, star pose. Take a warrior two to the back of your mat. Turn your left toes out. Think about dragging the heels towards each other, but pushing the knees away from each other. Flip your left palm, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to the back of your mat. Step your left foot back, chaturanga. Face the back of your mat. So pretty simple, pretty short flow. Lift your left leg up behind you. Step your left foot forward. Come up, crescent lunge. Little bend in the right knee to start. Right hip point forward, lift. Then gradually straighten your right leg. Can you bend your left knee more? Inhale. Exhale, hinge and sweep. Think of a little twist to the left. Lift your belly away from your left thigh. Arms wide and forward. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Reach your hands away from each other. And then spin to your right, star pose. And all the way to the front, warrior two. Flip your right palm, reverse. Windmill your hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. All right, lift your right leg up behind you. We're gonna add on. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Come up, high lunge, crescent warrior. Exhale, your arms back. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, right arm back. Star pose, rise. Warrior two to the back. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Reverse triangle, straight legs. Windmill your hands to the back of the mat. Chaturanga. Face the back of your mat, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward. Crescent lunge, reach up. Sweep your arms back. Send your arms forward. Left arm back. Star pose, open up. To the front, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Straight legs, reverse triangle. Hands to the mat, vinyasa. All right, we'll add on just a tad more. Lift your right leg up. Step forward. Crescent lunge. Arms back. Arms forward. Right arm back. Star pose. Warrior two to the back. Reverse warrior. Side angle. Reverse triangle. Triangle pose. Squeeze your legs, lengthen your arms. Look up at your right hand. Put a little bend in your right knee. Both hands on the mat. Step back, chaturanga. It's important to put that little bend in your left knee before you put your hands down. Lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward. Come up, crescent lunge. Throw your arms back. Arms forward, lift belly from thigh. Left hand back. Star pose. Warrior two to the front. Reverse. Side angle. Reverse triangle. Triangle pose. Pause for a moment. Pull your ribs in and your belly button back. Look up at your left thumb. Take a big inhale. Look down, little bend right knee. Then both hands on the mat, chaturanga. From down dog, look forward. Bend your knees, step or jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, reach your arms up. Take prayer hands to your heart center, inhale. Exhale, prayer twist to your right. Push your right palm down into your left palm, sink your hips back. Left knee going back, weight to your heels. Can you get your sternum towards your thumbs and stack your elbows? 3. 2. 1, look down at your feet. Keep your twist. Hug your left heel to your butt. Slowly step your left foot back so you're in a twisted lunge. You can adjust your feet if you need to, and you can always come back to your twist. Your right hip crease pulling back and down. Pump up your left leg. Push your right palm down. 3. 2. 1, hands down, drop your back knee, half splits, 3 breaths. Breathe into the back of your leg, 2. 1, bend your right knee, slide your left knee outside of your right ankle and take a seat. Right foot on the mat. If this is too much, extend your left leg straight. Get your right sitting bone on the mat, reach your left arm up, and twist to your right. I like the right fingertips. You could go palm if that feels better. Try to press the ball of your right foot down and sink your right hip towards the floor. 3. 2. 1. Counter stretch to the left. Keep going to the left until you turn all the way into a tabletop facing the back of the mat. It's a little bit funky, I know. I have to say, I stole this transition from someone else. It's one of my favorites though, so I am not taking credit for it. Extend your left leg back behind you. Stretch your right arm forward. Inhale. Exhale, crunch, elbow, knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. One more. Extend. Bend your left knee, reach your right hand back, tiger pose. Kick a little to the left, plug your left shoulder head back. Push your right toenails into the mat and spread them apart for 3. That will help you feel more stable. 2. 1. Slowly, right hand, left toes to the mat. Your left leg straight behind you. Lift your right shin off the mat and then find 3-leg downward facing dog. Your right leg is up. Bend your right knee, stack your hips. Stay there or shift shoulders over wrists. Spin your left heel flat and flip it around to wild thing. 3. Make sure your left shoulder's over your wrist. 2. And 1. Slowly step your right foot forward. Shorten your stance, pyramid pose. You're facing the back of the mat, right foot forward, pyramid pose. Great time for blocks if you've got them. Right outer hip tugging back, left outer hip pushing forward. If you've got the space, you can walk those hands forward, lengthen your waistline, tug your heels towards each other for 3. 2. Revolving triangle, left hand mat or block. Line your fingertips up with your toe tips. Start with the right hand on the hip or the low back, then maybe reach your right arm up. You're only looking up towards your thumb if it feels okay on your neck, and you feel like you can keep pulling that right hip crease back. Shift some weight into your left leg, that's your anchor. 3. 2. 1, look down, bump your left hand forward, lift your left leg up, revolving half moon. It's like warrior 3 with a twist. If you'd like, you can bend your left knee. I need to also bend the right knee as I reach the right hand back. Revolving full moon is very much like tiger pose, what we just did on our knees. Plug your left shoulder back, push the ball of your right foot down this time. 3. 2. 1, step your left foot behind your right foot, crisscrossed. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand with your ankles crossed. Take your right arm underneath your left arm, eagle arms. Bend your knees and you're already in modified eagle with your right toes as a kickstand. If you want full eagle pose, take your right leg up and over. Pull your right hip crease back, stack your shoulders over your hips, lift your elbows. And most importantly, breathe. 3. 2. 1, drop your elbows towards your top knee. Keep your arms, unwind your legs. Diving eagle. Dive your eagle beak down towards the floor and a little bit to the left. You've got to drop your right hip a little bit, plug your left hip crease back. I like a little bend in the left knee. Push the ball of the foot down. Keep twisting slightly to the left. Point your right toes. 3. 2. Hands on the mat. Standing splits or handstand hops with that right leg up. Take a long step back with your right foot. Drop your back knee, crooked monkey pose. Wiggle your left foot out. Place your hand on your thigh and melt your hips forward. Option to reach for the back foot. 3. 2. 1, release back foot, wiggle your left foot in. Spin your right shin behind you. Take your right hand all the way to the front of the mat into modified side plank. Spin your left toes in like warrior 2 foot. Extend your left arm. Feel really strong through your left hand, or your left foot and your right hand. Pick your right knee up, kick it out, fall in triangle. Plug your right shoulder back. 3. 2. Left hand down, pigeon pose at the front of your mat. Your left leg is long behind you. Feel free to use your forearms or any props. If you like, you can thread your left arm underneath like thread the needle pose. Relax your jaw. Notice if there is resistance or tension somewhere in your body. Does your breath feel stuck somewhere? Can you be more intentional with your next inhale? Slowly start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Let's go ahead and roll onto the right hip. Swing your left leg around. Bottom of your right foot at your inner left thigh, Janu Shirshasana. Push your foot into your thigh and vice versa. Stretch your arms up. Turn over your left leg and fold. You can grab a wrist, your foot, or your ankle. Drop your right armpit slightly. Almost a little twist to the left once again. That left hip pulling back. 3. 2. And 1. Release bind, come back up. Grab the back of your hamstrings. You've got Navasana, boat pose. Knees bent less, legs straight more. Tone your belly, low back in. Take the rounding out of your spine. 5. Keep your breath. 4. 3. 2. 1. Grab the back of your legs, rock up and down your spine 2 or 3 times. You'll get some momentum and meet back in Utkatasana. Both arms reach up. Take an inhale. Exhale, prayer twist to your left. Push your left palm down into your right palm. Pull your right knee, right hip back slightly. Sink your hips, get lighter in your toes. 3. 2. 1. Look down at your feet. Shift the weight to your left foot. Hug your right heel to your butt. Slowly step right foot back. You can unwind and come back to it if you need. Push your left palm into your right palm. High on your right toes as you pump up your right leg. Left hip crease down and back. Turn sternum towards thumbs. 3. Stack your elbows. 2. 1. Hands down. Drop your back knee. 3 breaths and half splits just to alleviate that left leg. Rebend your left knee. Slide your right knee outside of your left ankle and take a seat. You want to get your left sitting bone on the mat. If this is too much, the right leg can go straight. Stretch your right arm up and twist to your left. Try to look over your left shoulder. Push the ball of your left foot down. One more breath. Unwind, take a counter stretch to the right, and then keep going to the right until you find tabletop facing the back of your mat. Extend your right leg back behind you, foot flexed, left arm going forward, inhale. Exhale, pull elbow knee. Again, inhale. Crunch. Last one, reach. And squeeze. Extend. Bend your right knee, reach back, inside grip, kick right, plug your right shoulder back. Bump your left hip a little bit to the right, pull your sternum forward for 3. Tiger pose, 2. Without slingshotting, release. Left hand, right toes to the mat. Right leg is straight behind you. Pull your left knee to your chest. Press into a 3-leg downward facing dog with your left leg up. Bend your knee, stack it, stay there, or shift forward and flip it. Try to land nice and soft. Push your right shoulder over your wrist. And your spine pushing in behind your heart. Last 2. And 1. How slowly can you step your left foot around and find pyramid pose? Right toes angled out. Heel to heel is great if you've got it, or feet on railroad tracks. However you can get your hips more square is the way to go. Pull the left hip back as you push the right hip forward. Your legs are active, squeezing, like you're pushing down through the mat. Twisting triangle, right hand in or outside foot. Left hand waist, low back, or reach up. Keep pulling the left hip back and bumping it to the right. Your right hand pushing down to turn the chest. Only if it feels okay on your neck. You can look up at your left hand for 3. 2. 1, look down. Block is great here if you've got it. Right hand forward, revolving half moon, right leg lifting, or I like to bend both knees to reach back and grab the foot with the left hand, revolving full moon, like tiger pose, but harder. Push the ball of your left foot down and feel your left thigh bone go back. Left hip a little to the right, just like we did in tiger pose. Last 2. And 1, step your right foot behind your left foot, cross at your ankles. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand, ankles crossed. Take your left arm underneath your right arm. Bend your knees. You're in modified eagle pose, or take your left leg up more, eagle pose. Left hip crease pulling back. Sink your inner thighs down. Try not to hunch or round just yet. Pull your ribs down, belly button back. Sink lower. 3, 2, elbows towards your top knee. 1. Keep your arms, unwind your legs, dive your eagle beak towards the floor. So you gotta go down and a little to the right. I like to point the left toes here. Think standing splits, but you're using your core a lot. Maybe a little bend in the right knee as you push the ball of your foot down. Right hip crease lifting. 3, 2, hands on the mat, handstand hops or standing splits. Left foot, take a long step back, drop your knee. Crooked monkey pose, wiggle your right foot out. Place your right hand on your right thigh. You can always go for the back foot if you like. Now, many teachers will say, like, come to the outside edge of your front foot. That is okay as long as you have some body awareness and ankle stability. The issue with that is a lot of people tend to collapse into their ankle when they do that. You just want to keep the ankle stable. So you can roll to the outer edge of your foot as long as you're not collapsing at the ankle joint, which is why I just prefer to teach the pose with the ball of the foot down. Still feel a pretty good stretch. I don't find that completely necessary. Release the back foot if you've got it. Wiggle your right foot in. Spin your left shin behind you. We're going to the front of the mat in that modified side plank. Make sure your left fingers point towards the front of your mat. Your right toes turn in like warrior 2. I want you to feel really strong through your right foot and your left hand. Pick your left knee up and kick it out, fall in triangle. Goal is to line your toe tips up with your left fingertips. Extend your top arm with palm down or pinky down for 3, 2, and 1 pigeon pose left side. Focus less on like making it look perfect. The shin doesn't need to be parallel with the front of the mat. You know, I always like to say that's kind of the goal, but don't think about it that everyone's going to get there. That's what the quote-unquote perfect pose looks like, so textbook definition. But I think for most of us, the foot's going to be back a little bit further. I just want you to think that left shin, so if you get pretty comfortable with it like this, the goal is to move it a little bit more forward. It does not have to be completely parallel with the front of the mat. That would totally hurt my knee joint. You can stay here or thread the right arm underneath, like thread the needle pose. Slowly start to walk your hands back towards you, roll onto your left hip and swing your right leg around. Bottom of the left foot, inner right thigh, push these 2 parts of the body together, stretch your arms up, align over, right leg, fold. You can grab a wrist, ankle, foot, whatever you got, it's great. Think about crawling your ribs down your thighs, drop your left rib cage a little bit. Great. Release that. Come up. Grab the back of your legs. Savasana, boat pose once again. Extend your arms. Try to straighten your legs this time if you didn't last time. Take the rounding out of your back. Lift your sternum. Plug your shoulders back. Nice long spine. 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower your low back to the mat. No space between low back and the mat. Shoulder blades lifted. Stay there or take your arms overhead for 3. Pull your belly button down. 2, 1. Completely relax. Take a full body stretch. Big inhale. And exhale. Hug your knees into your chest. Plant your feet nice and close to you. Your arms by your side. You should be able to brush your heels here. You'll probably have a little arch in your low back, so take that out. You kind of have to scoop your tailbone towards the front of your mat to do that. You feel your ribs pull down and soften. Then lift your hips up. Keep that scooping of the tailbone, that drive down of the heels. Imagine you have a balloon between your knees. 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips down. Take a breath. Once again, scoop your tailbone, lift your hips up. Stay there or make a bind this time. Chest towards the space behind you. Heels driving down and forward. Knees pushing forward. 3, 2, 1. Release bind, lower hips down. Take a breath. You can do that again, or lift your hips up, hands by your head, push down, Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow pose. If you've never done this before, I'd recommend doing this in person with a teacher you trust, especially if you've never done deep back bends. Make sure your toes stay pointing forward, heels drive down, little push through the balls of your feet. Your head is heavy. Push your chest towards the wall or the space behind you for 3, 2, 1. Chin tuck, slow lower, hug knees to chest. Grab the back of your legs, rock up and down your spine 3 or 4 times. Paschimottanasana, extend your legs straight in front of you. Wiggle your butt back, so your sitting bones press down. The bigger part of your butt is actually kind of behind you now. Feet flex, stretch your arms up, hinge at your waist, fold forward. Feet stay flexed, balls of the feet push forward. You can always use a strap here or just grab onto your shins or ankles. Try to lead with your sternum and the third eye instead of with your chin. So neutral spine, 3, 2, and 1. Walk yourself up, lie down onto your back. Take your legs up, waterfall or shoulder stand. You can wiggle the elbows in a bit if you're going shoulder stand. If you are in shoulder stand, you might like to take your legs over, plow pose. You can make a bind or grab the outer edges of the mat, especially if you have a tendency to hyperextend your elbows. Press down with the back of your skull to alleviate your neck. Maybe bend your knees, ear pressure pose. Slowly start to lower yourself down. Fingers are under your butt, forearms on the mat, fish pose. Legs straight, chest lift, head drop back. Stretch your throat. Maybe you like to take a lion's breath here. Inhale. Tongue out. Tuck your chin, lower your head onto the mat, and hug your knees into your chest. Rock gently side to side. Happy baby pose. Tailbone down, chin tucked. You might like to straighten one leg. And then the other. Maybe both legs. Wrap your right leg over your left leg and take your knees over to the left. You might bump your hips to the right a bit. Look towards the right. Let your shoulder blades feel heavy, flat on the mat. Slowly unwind and switch. Cross your left leg over your right. Drop your knees to the right and look to your left. Let your shoulder blades be heavy. Unwind onto your back. Give yourself a final squeeze. Then when you're ready, extend your legs. Let your arms flop out by the side. Wiggle your shoulder blades underneath you so they're flat, heavy. Let your body relax. Scan your physical body for any leftover effort or tension. Any holding. You soften that a little bit more on your exhale. Scan your mind for any gripping, holding, clenching of the thoughts. And just as you relax your body, can you release your grip on those thoughts as well? Let your mind and body be still, empty, relaxed. Nothing to achieve or accomplish. Savasana. Slowly start to bring some awareness back to your physical body. Notice your breath. You may wiggle your fingers and toes. When you feel ready, stretch your arms overhead, lengthen. Hug your knees in and roll to your right or left side. Take your time coming up to a seated position. Try to keep your eyes closed and your awareness inwards. The practice of yoga is not so much about the destination of a pose, about nailing a specific pose, more about the journey that the poses take you on. So the amount of practice and discipline, surrender, softening, balance of strength, all of those things that we practice on the mat, that's really the purpose. Not nailing a pose, not doing a handstand or whatever it is. Just think more about the things you learn along the way. It's super cliche, but it's more about the journey than the destination. The journey is the destination. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a breath in. Exhale. Bow your head. Thank you for choosing to practice with me, for sharing your energy. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you, YouTube, for choosing to practice yoga with me. It's truly an honor to be your guide. I'm so honored that you come back to my classes week in and week out. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Yeah, that's about all I've got. If you're interested in an arm balance and inversion workshop, I will link that below. It's very, very reasonably priced, so could make a great gift for the holidays as well. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a wonderful time of year with family and friends. I'll see you guys next week.